Hello and welcome to Meet the Author. Today my guest is Siddhartha Syam. And Sid wrote this book, Yoga of the Microcosm, Spiritual Unity with Nature in the 21st Century. Now Sid, as I call him, is a professor at Marquette University in the Business Administration Department, where he works full-time. And this was like a side project that you did, and he published it in 2008. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. Now, Sid, what we want to ask you is, what inspired you to write this book, Yoga of the Microcosm?
What inspired me was essentially my feelings regarding life in society that I was experiencing during a time of what I felt was some spiritual crisis in myself. And I needed to go back to my spiritual roots.
Okay.
And this writing project made this real to me, and brought out a lot of things that had become suppressed, for a long time as I pursued my career in in business and academics. So this was very cathartic for me.
Okay. So your spiritual roots, you said, and your spiritual roots are where?
I'm originally from India.
Okay.
My spiritual roots are in Hinduism and Buddhism, Taoism, Eastern religions.
Okay. What does yoga have to do with the microcosm?
All right. Yoga, in the sense that it's used in the title, is referring to what I called the large or bigger yoga. And, the yoga as it is usually understood in society here has more to do with hatha yoga, which is the physical exercises of yoga. But the yoga that I have in mind goes back to the root of this word, which is union with the universe. Some might want to call it unity with God, but I prefer to view it as unity with the universe. And so that's why this word yoga is used in the title, because the book is, to me, a process of rediscovering that union.
Okay, and in your book you talk about getting back to the essence of who you are. I read here somewhere, I had underlined. Here, I need to put my glasses. Here on page 23 you say, the call of the trees, the sky, the flowers, and the mountains, Mother Nature. I could no more ignore her than I could ignore my own mother. I thought that was really awesome.
Well, at the beginning of the book, I write about my childhood, which was surrounded by nature. And in childhood, I almost felt like I had two mothers. One was the human mother, who was also a very loving person. But I also, luckily enough, I grew up in this very scenic, natural surroundings. And I always felt as if there was a Mother Nature that was somehow part of my life, because I was always outdoors.
Okay.
And so that's what I mean, that when I had this crisis, and then when I, even before the crisis, when I came to the United States, and for a long time I'd been pursuing the kind of career that most folks do, which in this day and age is very book and desk oriented, so it's an indoor kind of thing. But, it was stirring within me, I could not just, coop it up anymore, that I needed to go back.
Now, what was it about your home atmosphere in nature? Was it the trees or the mountains?
Well, the mountains were not that far away. The Himalayan mountains, the Himalayas?
Himalayas?
Yeah, the Himalayas were not that far away. we could see them, in winter, the mountain range far away, but visible. And where I grew up was a hill station, at about 5 to 6,000 feet elevation.
Oh.
And it was surrounded by pine trees, eucalyptus, firs, very, very beautiful. And the city was unspoiled. There was, and there still is no industry there because it's just located in the mountains.
Okay.
There's no sense in locating industries there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that has pluses and minuses. Obviously, there's minuses. There's few jobs and so on. But
Right. That's what my next question would have been. How did your community manage that?
The community was a migrant community that had come over from what is now Pakistan.
Okay.
And so the migrant community had to, essentially find some place to live.
Mm-hmm.
And for them, the mountains were it.